Welcome to the B2B Content Show, a podcast about the how, what, and why of B2B content marketing. I'm Jeremy Shear, and my guest today is Fara Rosenzweig, Head of Content Marketing at WorkRamp. Fara, it's so great to have you on the show.
Hi, Jeremy. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to chat with you today.
Me too. We're going to have a great chat. So, first, tell us about where you work, a little bit about WorkRamp, what you guys are all about.
Sure. So WorkRamp is the all-in-one learning platform that executives, employees, and customers all love. WorkRamp advances learning as a growth engine for businesses with a flexible platform that really empowers your team to develop top talent, and it also helps exceed revenue exceed revenue targets and helps inspire customers to eventually become brand advocates.
Very cool. All of that sounds really good. And I mean, any company could use that, right?
Oh, of course. I mean, at any time in your career or personal life, whatever your goals are, you're constantly learning. So, in a work environment, having a platform that helps your employees learn skill sets, just in advance what knowledge they need for their career is valuable. So why not
Yeah.
have some sort of platform that allows your team to develop skills while also leveraging that platform for different departments, sales enablement and
Yeah.
also customer education. So, because you're not going to have a business if your customers don't know how to use your product. So, it's really a great platform. I've used it like internally. Our company uses it for
Hmm.
us when we have new product launches to learn how to use product. We've used it for onboarding. I've built stuff for my team, for different trends going on in the content marketing world and just different processes for us all to be on the same page. So it's really cool. It's easy to use, and we're always learning. So it kind of seems like a win-win situation.
Yeah, no doubt. So, share with our audience now something, a memorable marketing moment, something you've learned either recently or maybe not so recently that you think is worth sharing with our audience.
Oh, I've had a handful of memorable marketing moments. I would say this is probably a memorable marketing moment for myself because it was a really important lesson. I made a flub. I was moving too fast, wasn't paying attention to things that what I was doing essentially. Um, I had created a newsletter. I thought it was in draft mode, and I put it in the system that we sent newsletters out. And whoops, I sent it to a million people and it was only a draft. So that was, a memorable marketing moment for me because I made a mistake, and it helped me realize what not to do to slow down.
Hmm.
Um, but as far as like what a memorable moment, like a high win or something that I'm proud of is well, there's a few. Early on in my career, I was fortunate enough I worked in production, and I worked on a program where we earned a really great award. So I guess like that's memorable for
Hmm.
myself because it helped me um, learn how to work as a team, and it doesn't take one person to do something well. It really takes a team and
Yeah.
collaboration to create something unique, valuable, and
Hmm.
also memorable where other people recognize that. So I would say that that's a memorable moment for myself.
Hmm.
um, but yeah, there's a lot of other things too, like campaigns we worked on. uh,
Hmm.
we could probably talk for an hour about different memorable moments.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's okay. Well, you gave us two really good ones. We got two for the price of one. So great value from you. Thank
There
you.
you go.
So now, a lot of times in this podcast, we do pre-interview calls just like we did, and I'll ask what are some of your biggest challenges, and I'd say 9 times out of 10, maybe even 10 times out of 10, one of the challenges is always, cutting through the noise, just
Hmm.
differentiating, because there's so much content out there and it's all too easy for a lot of it to just kind of blend together. So our topic today, like what really came to the foreground when we were talking the other week or so, is how to differentiate your content. And you had some really good examples of how you guys go about doing that. And one of them was when it comes to writing, using a sort of journalistic approach to written
Hmm.
content. So let's talk about that a little bit. So, first, just what does that mean?
Sure. Yeah. So back to your statement, there's so much content out there. And so, as someone who loves content, whether, you know, I think it's good or not, um, I just have to say hats off to people that are trying to put content out there.
Hmm.
Um, so it shows that content's very important. Um,
Hmm.
but that said, how do you know if it's good or not? Good can be subjective,
Yeah.
as most content is subjective. But really, what how my approach and my philosophy to make it different is I go back to what did I learn early on in my career about making good content when I was working at a magazine. And it's, hey, you have to be a good writer, strong writer, have your sources, cite your facts. You need to be unbiased. Um, so for the past 15 plus years working in this field, I've used that approach. That's how I was trained. And it really has helped make the content that I create different. So that's what I've used to help mentor my team of writers on how to make their content different. So back to journalistic approach, most journalists, and I say most because nowadays a lot of people have opinions,
Hmm.
but traditionally journalists are not supposed to have opinions. It's just take the facts, put it on paper. So when we're coming up with the story, the angle, we're first just looking at what are the facts that we want to put on paper to inform our customers. So, or even not even customers, just people who are reading our content. So it's laying out, answering the basic questions. What is this? How does it help? Um, why is it important? The who, what, when, where, why is, and hows.
Hmm.
We answer that. Now, we're not going to answer that just based off of our research and, we and use our opinion on it. We're actually using the subject matter experts in the field. We're using studies. We're using actual data from different reputable sources, not Wikipedia. I actually
Hmm.
read an article the other day and they used Wikipedia. Um, but again, reputable sources that are maybe like a Forrester report or something, and that comes from science backed research essentially. So so we're laying down the law, we're putting the facts in there, and we'll get quotes from subject matter experts.
Hmm. Yeah, no doubt. And I'm sure I think it differs a little bit from industry to industry. Like, there's definitely a lot of discussion on in places like LinkedIn that I see about making that emotional connection, even in the B2B space. But there are many different ways to do that. And I think it still
Oh,
needs to be fact based, and research based. Like it's the two don't have to be mutually exclusive, maybe, right? Like you can put content out there that touches on people's emotions while also being fact based and and perfectly reputable and trustworthy.
oh, 100%. I mean, by the examples you put out there, that's one way to show emotion. And just the word choices you use
Yeah.
also
Hmm.
helps paint that emotion, and really can touch someone in a way. So it's
Yeah.
being smart about the words you use, writing more in an active voice than passive voice.
Mm-hmm.
Some of some of the stuff is like, let's go back to elementary school writing and really dig deep in the
Yeah.
trenches to figure out what did we learn about basic writing and showing not telling type scenarios. So you can really take that
Hmm.
approach, and I think that's one way how we create unique content. And I that's my philosophy also, uh, that it will make your content high quality, stand out from other
Yeah.
people's writing, that type of stuff.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So now you guys also use Gong, right? The great
Yes,
company, that
yes,
technology that allows you to record or listen in on sales calls, right?
yes,
So
yes.
say a little bit about that, how you guys as marketers use that to create better content.
Yeah. So here at WorkRamp, it was my first time digging into Gong. I've heard of them, but I never had to use it. And um, what we do as a marketing team is we set on our calendar about an hour a week. Everyone at the same time, I think it's like at 9 o'clock a.m. Wednesdays, like we have a block on our calendar, and that's dedicated time for all of us to listen to customer calls, gong calls. So, what that allows us to do is really understand the journey, the buyer's journey, what their pain points are. So if it's their very first call with someone on the sales team, just learning a little bit about the what WorkRamp does, very high level, you're able to really understand what their company's pain points are, and then you can follow their journey along from all the way from the initial call through demo and the purchase call. So you're hearing their pain points, you're hearing what they like, you hear what they don't like, you might not hear what the competitor that they're looking at is, but they might say, "Oh, how come a different brand does this and not you doing that, blah blah blah." So it's great, you're hearing firsthand what your ideal target audience want and what they need,
Hmm.
um, what their confusions are. So from a marketing standpoint, that's how we can then solve problems, right? We're trying to educate people in a fun, creative way, draw them to our website, draw them to push that demo request button. So how do we do that if we have no idea what's going on in their brain? If we have no idea what the organization's problems are or anything like that? So we're able to go into Gong as a marketing team and listen to that. Now, from the content team, we take it a little step further. We do a regular content team sync weekly, and it's usually the first week or the first day of the week. We where we we're planning our editorial stuff. We're trying to figure out who's subject matter experts and stuff, and then we talk about what are some new trends that we're seeing in customer calls, what are some pain points, we're asking these questions, we're looking at our notes, and that's when we come up with different ideas, or I should say different solutions that we can write about for the following few weeks. So it's really cool because we're getting firsthand, we're not hearing it through middle people at all, and we're not guessing either. It's
Hmm.
literally, here's what they need, here's we heard it from the recording. um, so that's one, I think, another area where we're creating our content and making it unique because it's really created
Hmm.
for the buyer journey, helping them, helping solve problems, and helping our
Yeah.
marketing team educate people.
Yeah, and like you said, I think you made a good point. You're not just guessing about what that journey looks like. You're hearing it directly from the people who are on the journey,
Right.
right? Telling
And
you, here's what we care about, here's what we're frustrated with.
totally. And again, content needs to be of value. You have to
Yeah.
give, you can't just put fluff out there. You can't just make it whatever's going on in your brain. It's not going to resonate. So it's not going to resonate to your target audience. So if you're giving value and you like, you literally, the headline is answering whatever question they just asked the week before. They're like, wait a minute, were you reading, were you reading my brain? Like, do we have ESP, or what is it? I was about to say ESPN, but ESP or something,
ESP,
right?
right?
Like, yeah. So it's like we're kind of like that fly on the wall. We're hearing
Mm-hmm.
things and then we're answering it. So in some way, yeah, we kind of can be some sort of mind readers there,
Right.
because we're listening to
Mm-hmm.
it. So I think that I really love, because prior to creating content and getting the ideas from different organizations where I worked prior to WorkRamp, we did reach out to customers, or we'd have to get on our social media and kind of follow them along, and we're guessing because we didn't actually listen to them.
Mm.
If we were able to get on a customer interview call, then we had the facts right there from that call. But not every customer wants to get on a hop on a
Yep.
Zoom or a phone call with the content team. So
Right.
everyone's busy. So that's really what I love about Gong, is we're not wasting people's time.
Yeah.
It's listening to what the conversations are and pulling that information and creating our stories from that. And we're able to. Gong has some really cool features. I'm every time I'm in there, I'm learning something new.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we're able to have some keywords, track those keywords. So we have, if there's a new call that week and someone had mentioned that phrase that we're trying to track, we can automatically go in there and pull that information
Mm.
out. So it saves us a lot of time as well. But so yeah, it's been a fun process learning how do we use this tool to our advantage and create some unique content.
Yeah, that just sounds super valuable. Okay, well, Farah, there's so much more that I want to talk about with you. And in fact, I have more questions that I want to ask, but we're kind of running out of time. So we're going to need to wrap things up. But I just want to thank you because we got some, great insight from you and really good content. So thank you so much for your time and really appreciate it. Really enjoyed our conversation.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much, Jeremy. It's been great talking with you. And anytime you want to talk more about content marketing, I'm happy to chat.